J for James, Tommy James. Tommy James was UTV's Mr. Music in its early days. Born and raised in London's Camden Town, he became a band leader who first arrived in Belfast to play at the Plaza in Chichester Street. He fell for a local girl, Mary McCracken, and stayed. Belfast, and in due course UTV, became his home.
I remember watching Tea Time with Tommy, and it was live, I believe, most of the time, as everything was at UTV then. And he had all these people on. The late Jackie Cummings, whom I worked with in BBC, was a singer, and they all had like a dress suit on. Al Logan was our Bing Crosby. And Tommy James, and I met him only once. He had left when I joined, but he was back for a visit, and I always remember I was so pleased to meet him, and I told him that as a young boy, I'd watched the programme.
Do you know, tea time viewing in our house was a family affair. And we would have been sitting down and we would have been watching television. And Tea Time with Tommy was, you know, something that was always on. I mean, I remember dee 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 dee. Sort of, you know, remember the tune. And I remember Tommy James and Tony Martin, who played the drums in the group that accompanied Tommy James as well.
Tommy was also the music man on the children's programme Romper Room.
Up goes the weasel. We always had once a week an animal in our show, and we had a little rabbit one day, and the pet shop were very good, and we had all the regulations, made sure the bunny was fine, and he was in the corner. And I said, now children, and I held up a carrot to the camera, and I said, do you know what this is? This is a clue to the animal today. And they said, it's a rabbit. I said, well done, so let's go over. So as I went over with the carrot to the rabbit, I could see the floor manager, you know, looking panicky. It's like, no close-ups on the rabbit, no close-ups on the rabbit. I could hear this. And he just looked, and I looked at the rabbit, I lifted it up, and the rabbit was actually dead, I think, or pretty sick. So I lifted it up in my arms, and they all said, and the children were holding their carrots. He doesn't want his carrot, Miss Ellen. I said, I don't think he's hungry today. Let's let him sleep, and then we'll all go to our game. So the rabbit was there. And what was brilliant, Tommy James in the corner could see this happening. He immediately, ding-ling-ling, played the bell. I said, oh, there's Mr. Music. Let's go and sing a song. So he whisked us across. It was wonderful. Saved the day.
I was a production assistant on Tommy James's programmes for quite a long time. I even remember Tommy James playing the piano with 2 oranges. Hey, I've never seen anybody ever do that again. I was doing my 1 song a week regularly on Tea Time with Tommy. There's one, for example, a spoonful of sugar, and I was dressed in like a matron's outfit.
Yes, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
Tommy James was such a hit with the audience that UTV producers looked for ways to exploit his talents further.
While gathering
We've got a good setup here. Tommy, very popular. At the piano, day in, day out, 5 days a week. And Tony Finnegan said, what the hell are we going to do with him? Let's do something else. And where all good ideas seem to germinate, in the public house, with Roy Gaston, the designer, and probably my old friend Brian O'Donnell from Traditional Music Times. And Brian always had something to say about everything. He was a very bright man. And I don't know who it was suddenly said, listen, why don't we just pop Tommy in a sort of Tommy's Tavern sort of thing, you know? Tommy, jolly big cockney there and all that sort of thing. So we put the trio. But Roy Gaston built a set that, I mean, it would have done justice to the most expensive drama, because he and I toured the Shankill Road where they were pulling down all the houses for the, you know, for the West Link and the great development that was going on. And the council said, listen, if there's a whole lot of pubs being pulled down, anything you want, just take it. So we had a lorry with Big Isaac at it, and Roy said, look at that bar. The bar with, and all sorts of stuff like that. And so the set, if you saw the set, it was absolutely magnificent. And it had false pillars, it had absolutely everything. And of course it had real drink.